Intro: the fire that forges you. Have you ever wondered why the hardest moments carve the deepest lessons? Why the doors that close the loudest often lead to paths you never would have found otherwise? There's a strange beauty in the sting of rejection, in the quiet of solitude, in the moments when the world turns its back and you're forced to face yourself. That's where Stoicism lives. It's not a philosophy of coldness, it's a code for composure. It's what Marcus Aurelius practiced when his friends betrayed him. What Epictetus embodied after losing everything. What Seneca taught when life refused to bend his way. Because life won't always hand you comfort, it hands you contrast. Every no is a mirror reflecting how much power you've given away. Every setback is a chance to rebuild, not from pain, but from principle. Lesson 1: Control what you can, release what you can't. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that no amount of force can bend the world his way. The plans he made crumble, the people he trusted walk away, and the outcomes he expected slip through his fingers like sand. It's in that moment that the Stoic principle of control reveals its brutal truth: you do not command the wind, only your sail. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The modern man forgets this daily. He curses traffic, scrolls in envy, blames timing, politics, and fate. But the Stoic man pauses. He breathes. He sees the futility in waging war against what was never his to control. His calm is not surrender, it is strategy. The world is chaos, but his response, that's discipline. The first sign of maturity is recognizing what deserves your energy and what deserves your silence. Think of life like a battlefield. The weak soldier charges the storm, screaming at thunder, while the seasoned warrior tightens his armor and adjusts his route. Control is not domination, it's discernment. It's knowing where your influence begins and where it ends. When you stop trying to control others, you gain mastery over yourself. A Stoic man focuses on his conduct, not the crowd, on his effort, not the applause. When the deal collapses, he doesn't spiral, he refines his craft. When someone leaves, he doesn't beg, he rebuilds. When plans fall apart, he doesn't curse fate, he adapts. That's how you reclaim power, not by demanding the world obey you, but by mastering your reaction when it doesn't. The truth is simple: peace begins where control ends. Lesson 2: Embrace discomfort, the forge of the mind. Modern life has made comfort a god, but the Stoics knew that comfort is a slow poison. Every luxury you cling to, every convenience you refuse to live without, quietly erodes your resilience. Seneca, one of the richest men of his time, used to sleep on the floor and eat coarse bread just to remind himself that he could. Not because he loved suffering, but because he wanted freedom from fear. Discomfort, when chosen, becomes your training ground. The man who practices hardship on his own terms is never broken when life forces it upon him. He knows cold showers, long silences, and honest work are not punishments, they're tools for fortification. Every moment you choose discomfort, you're building armor no one can see, but everyone can feel. The comfort-addicted man folds at the first sign of pressure, the Stoic-trained man breathes through it and adapts. The next time life offers you the easy path, pause and ask, what will this comfort cost me? Skip the gym once, and you lose more than muscle. Avoid that difficult conversation, and you lose courage. Stay in your comfort zone long enough, and you'll forget how to stand in chaos. True growth is not born in peace, it's hammered in adversity. The Stoics believed that every challenge is an invitation to mastery. When you step into discomfort deliberately, you reclaim your wildness, that primal strength buried beneath routine. So take the cold shower. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do the task that scares you. You're not punishing yourself, you're preparing yourself. Because when life hits, and it will, the man who's trained in discomfort doesn't flinch. He simply smiles, adjusts his stance, and keeps walking forward. Lesson 3: Rule your emotions before they rule you. Anger, fear, jealousy. These are not enemies, they're wild horses that need taming. The Stoics never taught emotional suppression, they taught mastery. Marcus Aurelius, even as emperor, was insulted, betrayed, and opposed daily, yet his journals reveal calm, not rage. Why? Because he understood that emotions are signals, not commands. The modern world tells you to feel everything, but Stoicism teaches you to interpret everything. When anger flares, it's not proof of injustice, it's proof of attachment. When fear spikes, it's not prophecy, it's an opportunity to practice courage. Every emotion you face is an internal mirror reflecting what still controls you. A Stoic doesn't run from that reflection, he studies it until it becomes his. Lesson 4: Discipline is freedom. At first, discipline feels like a cage: rules, structure, order. But over time, you see it for what it really is: freedom. The Stoics believed that without discipline, you become a slave not to others, but to your own impulses. Epictetus began life as a slave and yet became one of the freest men in history because he disciplined his mind. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The modern world celebrates spontaneity, but Stoicism celebrates sovereignty, the ability to command yourself. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. It's the quiet act of showing up for yourself when no one else is watching. Every morning you rise early, every time you train, read, or work when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that your word matters. Most people drift through life chained by moods. They act only when inspired. But inspiration is fickle, it shows up after you've already started. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum breeds freedom. The Stoic routine isn't about rigidity, it's about rhythm. It gives your day purpose, direction, and clarity. Think of discipline as the spine of the soul. Without it, you collapse under pressure. With it, you stand tall, no matter the weight. The man who lives by discipline is not a prisoner of his emotions or distractions. He is steady, dependable, and free. Freedom is not the absence of constraints, it's the ability to act rightly despite them. Lesson 5: Focus only on what you can control. Every storm in life begins with a single truth forgotten, that control is an illusion. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Epictetus, born a slave, crippled by his master, realized that though his body could be chained, his mind never could. He taught that peace begins when you draw a clear line between what's yours to command and what's not. Your actions, your choices, your attitude, these belong to you. Everything else, the weather, the opinions of others, the outcomes of your efforts, they don't. Yet most people spend their lives tangled in the second category, arguing with reality, exhausting themselves over what was never theirs to steer. When you learn to release that need for control, something miraculous happens. Calm replaces chaos. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, wind howling, rain cutting against your face. You can't stop the storm, but you can adjust your stance. That's Stoicism. When someone rejects you, when plans crumble, when the world doesn't bend to your will, that's your moment to remember your power. Lesson 7. Practice voluntary hardship. The Stoics believed that luxury weakens the soul, while struggle sharpens it. Seneca, though wealthy, regularly practiced poverty. He wore rough clothes, ate the simplest food, and slept on the ground, not because he had to, but because he wanted to test his strength. Is this what I feared? He would ask himself. The exercise wasn't about deprivation, it was about freedom. Once you've faced discomfort willingly, fear loses its grip. If you can thrive in scarcity, abundance no longer controls you. The same applies today. Skip a meal, walk instead of drive, silence your phone for a day, or choose the harder path at work. Each act of voluntary hardship is a quiet rebellion against weakness. In a world obsessed with ease, practicing hardship might seem strange. But look around, how many people break at the first sign of difficulty. The Stoic doesn't seek pain, he seeks power through preparation. Voluntary hardship trains your mind to remain calm when life takes something away. You've already rehearsed the loss, so it cannot shatter you. It's like fireproofing your soul. When discomfort comes, and it will, you're not blindsided. You've met it before. In this way, hardship becomes not something to fear but to respect, even welcome. It reminds you that strength is not built in comfort, it's forged in challenge. So take up the practice not to impress others, but to strengthen your will. The one who chooses difficulty on his own terms lives lightly, because nothing the world can take from him was ever the source of his peace. Lesson 8. Accept fate, amor fati. At the heart of Stoicism lies one of its most liberating ideas, amor fati, the love of fate. It's easy to accept what you like in life, but the Stoics' challenge is to love everything that happens, even the unwanted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it." That's amor fati, turning every obstacle into fuel. It's not passive acceptance, it's radical partnership with reality. Most people fight life, they resist what happens, replay the past, or curse the present. But the Stoic understands, resistance multiplies suffering. acceptance transforms it. When you love your fate, you stop asking why me, and start asking what now. Imagine losing a job, a relationship, or an opportunity. The non-Stoic sees tragedy, the Stoic sees training. Every event, pleasant or painful, becomes a teacher. Lesson 10, the obstacle is the way. When life throws you into chaos, the natural instinct is to resist, to push the pain away, to curse the obstacle. But Stoicism flips that script. The obstacle is the way. Every challenge is not blocking your path, it is your path. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not poetic optimism, it's practical resilience. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Or Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison yet emerged not broken, but enlightened. They didn't escape their obstacles, they used them. Every hardship you face carries within it a lesson, a tool, a seed of strength that cannot be gained otherwise. In your own life, this means treating frustration as fuel. When a project collapses, rebuild smarter. When you're rejected, let it harden your resolve. When life slows your progress, use the pause to grow internally. Stoicism teaches that pain is not your enemy, it's your instructor. Each setback reveals who you are when comfort disappears. Do you retreat, or do you rise? The Stoic chooses to rise. The obstacle becomes his sharpening stone, refining his patience, humility, and endurance. You begin to realize that nothing is wasted, not the heartbreak, not the failure, not even the waiting. Everything shapes you for what's next. The moment you stop wishing for ease and start welcoming adversity, you cross from victim to victor. Because in the Stoic worldview, life's obstacles are not detours, they are divine direction. Lesson 11, Live according to nature. To live according to nature, as the Stoics taught, means aligning yourself with reality, not fantasy. It means accepting that everything has a rhythm, growth and decay, success and failure, joy and sorrow. The modern world trains us to chase constant pleasure, eternal comfort, and endless youth, illusions that leave us restless. Stoicism reminds us that peace comes not from escaping life's cycles, but from flowing with them. Like a tree bending with the wind, the wise man yields without breaking. He doesn't fight change, he respects it. Living in harmony with nature means recognizing that some days are for striving and others for stillness, some seasons for building and others for letting go. When you stop demanding life be different, you begin to see its beauty exactly as it is. Consider how much suffering comes from resistance. We rage when plans change, when people. Lesson 12, the power of reflection. At the end of every day, the Stoics practiced reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, Seneca reviewed his actions before bed. This was not self-punishment, it was self-mastery. They believed an unexamined life is a wasted one. Reflection is how we turn experience into wisdom. It's how we convert pain into purpose. Each night, the Stoic asks himself, What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What will I do differently tomorrow? This quiet ritual builds awareness, humility, and growth. In a world that glorifies distraction, reflection is rebellion. It pulls you out of noise and back into clarity. You can start this practice tonight. Set aside 5 minutes before bed. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. Replay the day like a film. Did you act with patience? Did you let emotions rule? Did you treat others well? Don't judge yourself harshly, just observe. Over time, this habit becomes a compass. You'll start noticing patterns: what triggers your anger, what nurtures your peace, what drains your focus. Reflection sharpens the mind and purifies the soul. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. The Stoic man doesn't seek to avoid mistakes, he seeks to learn from them. Each day becomes a lesson, each failure a teacher. And through this constant self-examination, you evolve from impulsive to intentional, from reactive to wise. Reflection, then, is not just a practice. It's the art of sculpting your soul, one honest moment at a time. Conclusion. You've now walked through 12 Stoic lessons, each one a stepping stone towards self-mastery. These aren't theories meant to be admired, they're practices meant to be lived. Stoicism doesn't promise a life without pain, it teaches you to endure pain with purpose. It doesn't offer control over the world, it offers control over yourself. And in that lies the ultimate freedom. So when life rejects you, when people test you, when fate twists the path beneath your feet, remember these lessons. Breathe deeply, stand tall, and let your composure be your power. Here at Sculpted Grace, we believe wisdom isn't in avoiding the storm, it's in learning to stand still within it. So live with intention, act with virtue, and meet every challenge with calm defiance. Because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more men and women of depth, patience, and strength. Be that person. Be the calm in the chaos.